Welcome back. The Gemara in Kesubos brings down a story. After the Churban Beis Hamikdash, after the destruction of the second Beis Hamikdash, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai one day was going with his Talmidim on a trip. They left Yerushalayim. They entered the desert, which is where the Arabs lived in tents. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai saw in the distance a Jewish lady that was picking kernels of barley from the manure of animals that belonged to Arabs. Evidently, she was very poor. Said Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, "Who are you?" She replied, "I'm the daughter of Nakdimon ben Gurion." Says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, "I remember just a few years earlier, he was from the three wealthiest people in Yerushalayim. I remember I was by your wedding, and just on the Kesubah itself, your father entered into your marriage 1 million gold dinarim. The equivalent nowadays is around $185 million worth of gold. How is it that your father lost all his money and you're here taking kernels of barley from the manure of Arab animals?" She replied, "My father," the Gemara says, "either gave a lot of tzedakah, but for covered reasons, for the reasons of receiving honor, or according to his wealth, he didn't give enough. Either way, he lost his money, and this is where I am today." The Gemara says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai cried, and he said, "Praiseworthy are the Jewish people, that when they do what Hashem wants them to do, no nation in the world can come close to them. And praiseworthy are the Jewish people that when they don't listen to Hashem, every nation in the world rules over them. Not only that, but they're lowered to the level that they have to take from the manure food, from the manure of animals that belong to Arabs, that Rashi explains Arabs are a primitive nation that live in tents in the desert." When I was in yeshiva in Shari Torah 8 or 9 years ago, I used to learn night seder with a man called Rabbi Akiva Greenberg. At the time, he asked me over a question which was the Marshal's question. Why did Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai say, "And praiseworthy are the Jewish people, that when they don't listen to Hashem, they're lowered to such a low level that they're dependent on the manure of the animals belonging to Arabs"? Why? Why was this praiseworthy? We understand if they listen to Hashem, they're so high up, that was praiseworthy, but why is it praiseworthy when they don't listen to Hashem, they're lowered to such a low level? I don't remember the answer that he gave me, but the answer that I thought of at the time is as follows. Imagine a father takes his child on a trip, and his child's best friend comes with. Both the child and the best friend misbehave and do something very dangerous. The father's reaction is to get very angry with the child, and not really that angry with the child's friend. After all, it's not his own child. The initial reaction of the child is, "Daddy, why are you picking on me? My friend did exactly the same thing. You're not punishing him. Why are you punishing me?" However, if one thinks about it from a logical perspective, on the contrary, the father's not picking on the child. The father loves the child. And that's why when the child does something dangerous, the father has to react in this way. So too, when we do what Hashem wants, no one can come close to us. But praiseworthy are the Jewish people, that we're so close to Hashem, we're mamish like Hashem's children. We see this because when we don't do what Hashem wants, Hashem punishes us so severely. We sink to such a low level. We're in Golus. Only because we're close to Hashem, only because we're children of Hashem, does Hashem punish us so severely, and we fall to such a low level when we don't listen to what He wants us to do. Everyone should have a good Shabbos, and Be'ezras Hashem this year, if we have a TISHAH B'AV, it should be the last TISHAH B'AV, and Be'ezras Hashem by next year, Moshiach should be here, and on the 9th of Av should be a Simcha, it should be a Yom Tov.